It's October in Utah, and this is what it looks like. You would not even have imagined that 3 days ago, alright, nope, today's the 6th, so 6 days ago we were sitting at 91 degrees, which was a record for Utah for the latest that it's ever been over 90 in the year. Hey guys, it's Tina Thorup here, the filmmaker, mentor, and coach, and I just am coming to you because I've actually been just having, like all night last night, I just couldn't sleep. There was just something that was keeping me awake, and with my mentoring program, we've been going over really delving into the pain and finding out what it is that we have that connects us to other people. You know, what it is and the story behind that pain, so that we can teach and motivate and move people with our stories. And I've had one that's just been going through my head, and the whole purpose for it is because I've really come up with my concept, my idea of what I'm doing and why I'm here for filmmakers. As I was listening to my mentor Heather Matter speak, she was talking about conscious creators. And you know, I've been running through the thoughts, what's my foundation? Really, what is it that I want to create? And I've been thinking conscious filmmakers, conscious filmmaking, and I've been stuck on this filmmaking idea because, well, that's what I do, is I work with filmmakers. So when she said conscious creators, the very first thing is I texted my husband and I said, conscious creators. He's like, yes, that's it. That's what it is that you are creating. That's what you're bringing to the film industry. And so my core message, my core purpose is to have conscious creators in filmmaking. And so the story that's been running through my mind is almost 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago, I remember that I was sitting in my husband's parking lot getting ready to trade him vehicles, and I remember just sitting there sobbing. I was bawling, like every fiber of my being was crying, and I remember I hurt everywhere. And I don't know if you've ever cried like that, but every muscle was tense and sore, and it felt like it was releasing something that had been stored up for a long time. And as I was sitting there just bawling in the car, before I could possibly pull myself together to go transfer vehicles with my husband, all of a sudden my side door opened, and in slipped my husband, who looked at me in this state of bawling and utter chaos, and he just sat there. And he just waited for me. He didn't know what my issue was or why I was bawling, and I knew I was too terrified to say anything. I couldn't possibly be that open with him in communication. At this point, we had been married for 5 years, about 5.5, and I felt lost and alone in my relationship. I didn't trust myself enough to communicate with him. I didn't trust him enough that I could communicate either. And so, as I'm sitting there bawling, the last couple of months had just washed over me. I was working at a job where I was doing some customer service, some sales stuff, and I remember that I had this innocent thought in my mind that there was this guy at work that I liked, that I was kind of interested in, and it was kind of random, and I didn't think anything of it. And so it was just this really innocent thought of attraction towards this gentleman. And every day I would see him, and that thought would come up, and I would start feeling it, and it just started getting stronger and stronger. And as I look back, I don't even think the guy knew that I was even remotely attracted to him. But I remember inside of me having so much chaos and turmoil because I was married. I had 2 children. You know, you're not supposed to have feelings for another individual if you're married. You know, that was my belief. And so I had harbored this, and it just got worse and worse every day because I was so scared to say anything to my husband that I had this innocent attraction towards this other gentleman. And as I'm sitting there sobbing at the point of breaking because I didn't realize how much I had harbored that thought of, I am an evil, awful woman for thinking about or having feelings towards another man while I'm married. And so my husband's sitting in the car and I'm sobbing uncontrollably, just huge tears coming down my face. And he's like, "What's the matter?" And I looked at him and I said, "Honey, I am the worst wife ever. I have feelings for another man at work, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to interpret these feelings. I really don't know how to take them." I'm like, nothing's happened. I'm like, the guy doesn't even, I think, know I exist, but I don't know what to do. And I remember my husband putting his hand on top of mine and gently taking my face in his other hand and looking at me. And I remember so clearly the words that came out of his mouth because they shocked me. He's like, "Did you think that when we got married that those feelings would go away, that all of a sudden magically something would come over you, that you would never ever have feelings for another person?" And I sat there in awe of this man that's sitting beside me, thinking that you know, for 2 months I didn't trust him enough to have a conversation about exactly how I was feeling and what was going on inside of me. And I was racked with torment, and I didn't know what to do. And he said that to me, and just remember this feeling of relief washing over my body. And I just sat there in a complete and utter stupor of, could he possibly have just said that? You know, in my mind I knew it was true. I knew that I had believed that the moment that I had gotten married, that I would never feel something for somebody else again, that there was no way that I could have an innocent attraction that comes with being human. Now, the whole purpose that I bring this to you is because I'm talking to you as a human being about open communication, about being willing to trust your partner enough to tell them exactly what's going on inside of you. One thing as filmmakers is we're so scared of hurting or offending somebody else that we get caught up in ourselves and our fear of saying, "Hey, you know, there are some things in this script that I would like to see changed." And so as business partners, we allow our partner to feel good about themselves instead of being honest with them about who they are or what we feel or what we see needs to change. And the honest truth is we don't know how they're going to react. In our minds, we answer for them what we feel they're going to say or how they're going to react to the situation. You know, hey, we have this situation where financially somebody's not going to give us money because there's things in this script that need to change. We are not structured enough. We are not organized enough. And so what I invite you to do is really take a look at yourself. Ask yourself, have I been honest with myself? Have I been honest with my partner? Am I truly communicating the way that I need to communicate? And I invite you to take that thing, the one thing that you have been so scared to actually communicate, to actually say to your partner, go to them and say, what I have been withholding from you is, just say, you know, without any emotion attached to it, without fear of the judgment that might be coming to you, go to them and have that conversation of what I have been withholding from you is. Okay? And see what happens. And the open communication that can come from that. So what I invite you to do is go take that time. Become conscious of your feelings and what's going on around you to make that project that can change the world. Okay? This is Tina Thorup, bringing it to you, reminding you to be a conscious creator, a conscious filmmaker, and reminding you to live, laugh, love, because everyone's watching.